All right, so why is it that you always get left undelivered and you can't make a woman truly obsessed with you, okay? Women are always going to go after the man who is emotionally unavailable until it reaches a point where they're too old, and they want more stability or whatever, so they will go with the man that is more emotionally available. But when you're younger, and even when they're older, they're still gonna crave that. They're still gonna crave the man who is emotionally unavailable. It's almost backwards in a way, right? You would think that giving them all the attention in the world, you would think that showering them with attention and always, responding right away and all this other shit, right? You would think that that's how, you get a woman to truly become obsessed with you. But the truth is, these women are backwards, okay? And I'm not saying you have to play mind games, but when you as a man, you're not emotionally invested, especially not right away, because a lot of guys get a little bit of attention and they're falling in love over some chick that they barely even know. And then they wonder why she's not responding, because you're texting her back right away every single time. And, you're so emotionally invested. Meanwhile, she's, seeking the man who is not emotionally involved, who is not emotionally available, and she's trying to get his attention. She is trying to get his attention. She has to earn his attention, as opposed to your attention. Your attention is free. Your attention has no value. When you as a man, you're not emotionally attached to a woman. You're not thinking about her, about what is she doing, who is she with, all this other shit, right? Like, I just go on about my day. I'm not thinking about a chick. And of course, when they tell me, oh, you're ignoring me or whatever the case may be, of course you got to tell them what they want to hear. But the reality is, the reason I'm ignoring you is because I'm carrying on with my life. I'm doing what I'm doing, what's in front of me, right? When I'm with a woman, then she gets my undivided attention because we are together. But when I am, living my life, I'm living my life. So I'm not going to be responding right away like most guys will, because most guys, they are not fully present in where they are because they are emotionally attached to a woman. And 9 times out of 10, it's a woman that they haven't even smashed. So it's like, bro, why the fuck are you so obsessed? Like, get yourself together, dog. You need to go through a fucking semen retention journey and fucking retain so that you can overcome those lustful thoughts, because that's really what it stems from. You're watching too much porn. You're sitting there beating your meat every single day. So you feel like you need a woman. So the moment that a woman gives you some attention and you feel like this woman likes me, this woman finds me attractive, whatever the case may be, you're like, oh shit, I got to text her back. And you're thinking about her 24/7. So of course, she's going to be like, this guy, it's just so easy to get his attention. And it's like, women need that emotional turmoil. Women need that up and down. And it's not necessarily, like I said, that you got to play games. But when you are emotionally unavailable, you're not really, you're just in the present moment. You're just living your life. If you're at work, you're at work. If you're doing something, if you're at the gym, you're at the gym. If you're, out and about, if you're going out to a restaurant, whatever the case may be, you're there. So you're not 24/7 thinking about texting this woman. So of course she's gonna chase harder. And that's the thing. You gotta be able to be emotionally detached enough to be able to choose the one that chooses you and not the one that you want. Because a lot of guys, they go after the one that they want, and they get nowhere. They're constantly chasing her. They're constantly trying to set something up with her. Why? Because you want her more than she wants you. She wants the guy that doesn't want her as much. You see what's going on here? The guy that doesn't want her as much, she's seeking his validation. Meanwhile, she doesn't want you that much, but you want her even more. That's the game of seduction. The person who cares the least has the most power. That's just reality. Okay? And I'm not here on some black pill, red pill. I'm not with none of those pills. I'm just a realist. Okay? And that's what reality boils down to. That the person that cares the most is the one who has the least amount of power in that dynamic. Because think about it. If you're going to go into a car dealership and the salesman doesn't really care if, he's already made enough sales, He doesn't really care if he makes the sale. But you want the car really bad, he knows he's got you. He has more power in that dynamic than you do. Now, if it's the other way around and the salesman hasn't made any sales in months and weeks, and you walk in and you're kind of indifferent, you're like, you're negotiating, you have the power to walk away because you don't care. You could lose this and it doesn't matter. You're like, I'll find something else elsewhere, right? I'll find it elsewhere. If you don't meet the qualifications, if you don't, if you don't satisfy the terms and agreements that I want, then guess what? No worries. I'm not going to be mad at you. I'm just going to walk on out of here unless we can figure something out so that, we can make a deal, you know? So that's just reality. The person who cares the least is the one who's going to have the most power in the relationship. And, women are always going to chase after the man who's emotionally unavailable to where, she's texting you and you might not respond for hours, not because you're playing games, but because, to be honest, you don't really care. You don't really care. I'm not saying that to be an asshole, but it's like, bro, you got to focus on yourself. Stop focusing on these women so much, because the more that you focus on them, the more that you focus on trying to set some shit up with them, and I'm not saying that don't set some shit up, but, if you're chasing after a woman, get yourself together, brother. Focus on yourself so that, you don't need a woman. Whenever you feel the need, like, okay, I wanna spend some time, some quality time, if you know what I mean, with a woman, then, you can set some shit up. But stop being so obsessed over these women, brother. Take it easy.